नमस्ते, मैं आपका वर्चुअल सहायक हूँ। आपकी मदद के लिए तैयार हूँ, कुछ भी पूछिए। नमस्ते, मैं आपका वर्चुअल सहायक हूँ।
बिल्कुल।
आपकी मदद के लिए तैयार हूँ, कुछ भी पूछिए।
भारतीय सेना, जिसे भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों का मुख्य घटक माना जाता है, भारत की रक्षा और सुरक्षा के लिए जिम्मेदार है। बा ना ना मा बा। यह सेना 3 मुख्य शाखाओं में विभाजित है। 8 भूमि सेना, आर्मी। यह मुख्य रूप से जमीनी युद्ध के लिए होती है और इसके पास पैदल सैनिक, तोपें, टैंक्स आदि होते हैं। 2 वायुसेना, एयरफोर्स। यह वायु में लड़ाई के लिए जिम्मेदार होती है और इसके पास लड़ाकू विमान, हेलीकॉप्टर और अन्य वायु रक्षा प्रणालियां होती हैं। 3 नौसेना, नेवी। यह समुद्र में रक्षा और संचालन के लिए होती है और इसके पास युद्धपोत, पनडुब्बियां और अन्य समुद्री उपकरण होते हैं। भारतीय सेना के मुख्य कार्य: रक्षा और सुरक्षा, देश की सीमाओं की रक्षा करना और आंतरिक सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करना। संवेदनशीलता में सहायता, आपदा के समय राहत और बचाव कार्यों में योगदान देना। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग, संयुक्त राष्ट्र के शांति अभियानों में भाग लेना। शान्य संगठन, भारतीय सेना का मुख्यालय नई दिल्ली में है और इसके प्रमुख को सेना प्रमुख कहा जाता है। भारतीय सेना में एक सख्त अनुशासन और उच्च प्रशिक्षण मानक होता है, जो इसे विश्व की एक शक्तिशाली सेना बनाता है। यदि आपको भारतीय सेना के किसी विशेष पहलू के बारे में जानकारी चाहिए, तो कृपया बताएं। बिल्कुल। भारतीय सेना की इस्तेमाल की जाने वाली कुछ प्रमुख हथियारों और प्रणाली के बारे में जानकारी नीचे दी गई है। पन्ना 1 बंदूकें और राइफल्स। इंसास इंडियन स्मॉल आर्म्स सिस्टम। यह 5.5 साइट 645 मिमी की राइफल है, जो भारतीय सेना में मुख्य राइफल के रूप में उपयोग में लाई जाती है। AK-47 यह एक कलाश्निकोव राइफल है, जिसे कुछ विशेष बल और एकीकृत टीमों द्वारा उपयोग किया जाता है। 2 तोपें, स्पो धनुष तोप। यह एक स्वदेशी विकसित हॉवित्जर तोप है जिसकी रेंज लगभग 38 किलोमीटर है। M777 हल्की तोप। यह अमेरिका से आयात की गई एक हल्की पहाड़ी तोप है जिसका उपयोग बर्फीले इलाकों में किया जाता है। 3 मोबाइल प्लेटफॉर्म मिसाइल प्रणाली, जैसे ब्राह्मोस, जो कि एक सुपरसोनिक क्रूज मिसाइल है। हना 4 एयर सिस्टम। हाल फाइटर जेट्स, जैसे Su-30 MKI और AL तेजस, जो वायु सुरक्षा और हवाई हमलों के लिए उपयोग किए जाते हैं। हेलीकॉप्टर, जैसे अपाची और HIL ध्रुव, जो विभिन्न भू। नमस्ते, कैसे हैं आप? यह एक अच्छा तरीका है बातचीत शुरू करने का। आप इसे किसी भी चर्चा या सवाल को प्रेरित करने के लिए उपयोग कर सकते हैं। अगर आपके पास कोई विशेष प्रश्न है या किसी विषय के बारे में चर्चा करना चाहते हैं, तो बताएं। मैं यहाँ मदद के लिए हूँ। बिल्कुल। यहाँ कुछ लोकप्रिय खेलों का शाउट आउट किया गया है, जो विभिन्न शैलियों और प्लेटफॉर्मों पर उपलब्ध हैं। हाँ 1 पबजी मोबाइल। यह एक बैटल रॉयल गेम है जिसमें खिलाड़ियों को एक द्वीप पर उतरना होता है और सोब्रेविवर करने के लिए एक दूसरे के खिलाफ लड़ना होता है। हाँ 2 कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी वॉरजोन। ओह, समझ गया। तो चलिए एक बार फिर से। हाँ, ये सभी गेम्स, आपको कौन से गेम्स सबसे ज़्यादा पसंद हैं? अगर आप किसी खास गेम के बारे में बातें करना चाहते हैं तो बताएं।
हेलो ऑल। आप सब लोग कोई सा भी डाउट पूछ सकते हैं या कुछ भी जान सकते हैं इस एआई चार्ट असिस्टेंट से, ठीक है। तो आप लोगों को ये अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज लाइक और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। मैं आप चार्ट में कोई सा
बहुत
भी
बढ़िया।
क्वेश्चन पूछ
आप एक
सकते
अच्छे
हैं।
तरीके से दर्शकों को आमंत्रित कर रहे हैं। आप इसे इस तरह से भी जारी रख सकते हैं। मैं यहाँ आपके सवालों का जवाब देने के लिए हूँ। अगर आपके पास कोई प्रश्न है, चाहे वह तकनीकी हो, शिक्षा से संबंधित हो या कुछ और, तो बेझिझक पूछिए।
यस। हाँ, मुझे थोड़ा हिंदी तो कम आता है, पर तुम जो भी हमारे सब्सक्राइबर्स या कोई भी चार्ट में क्वेश्चन पूछने से मैं आपको पूछूंगा तो आप उसका रिस्पॉन्स दीजिए, ठीक है। मैं देख सकता हूँ थोड़े लोग जस्ट क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहे हैं बट चले जा रहे हैं विदाउट लाइकिंग। सो जिसको भी अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज लाइक कीजिए मेरे प्यारे भाई और मेरे दोस्तों, ठीक है। सो या आ, मेरे दोस्त एआई स्टैंड, क्या आप मुझे इंडियन आर्मी के बारे में बता सकते हैं? इंडियन आर्मी में कौन से मिसाइल ज्यादा पावरफुल है?
Hi there. I'm your virtual assistant, here to help with anything you need. Ask me anything. Hello. How can I assist you today? Absolutely, that works for me. Just let me know when you're ready for a response and I'll be here to help. The country often recognized as having the most powerful army is the United States. The US military is known for its advanced technology, extensive resources, and global reach, which includes 1. Advanced military technology. The US invests heavily in state of the art weapon systems, aircraft, and naval capabilities. 2. Large budget. The US defense budget is the largest in the world, allowing for extensive training, equipment, and operations. 3. Global presence. The US has military bases around the world, enabling rapid response to international conflicts. 4. Highly trained personnel. The US military has rigorous training programs and is known for its professionalism. Other countries with powerful militaries include Russia and China, which also have significant capabilities and resources. Would you like to know more about any specific aspect? The second largest army in the world, in terms of active personnel, is China. The People's Liberation Army, PLA, is known for its vast size and significant resources. Key features of the Chinese military include 1. Large personnel. China has a massive active duty military force, making it one of the largest in the world. 2. Rapid modernization. The PLA has undergone significant modernization efforts, upgrading its technology and equipment, including advanced missile systems and naval capabilities. 3. Regional influence. The Chinese military plays a key role in regional security and is increasingly asserting its presence in international waters. 4. Diverse capabilities. The PLA operates various branches, including ground forces, naval forces, and air forces, along with a growing focus on cyber and space capabilities. If you need more details or information about a specific aspect of the Chinese military, let me know. Got it. Here's a breakdown of the key features of the Chinese military, one by one. 1. Large personnel. China. Understood. Here's a list of the largest armies in the world based on active military personnel. 1. United States. The largest military, known for its advanced technology and global presence. Hey there, I'm your virtual assistant, here to help you with anything you need. Ask away. Hey there. It sounds like. Sure, what do you want me to do? Got it. Here's a fun way to engage your YouTube subscribers during your live session. Hey everyone, thanks for joining the live stream. I'm here with my amazing virtual assistant, and we'd love to hear from you. What's on your mind today? Do you have any questions or topics you want us to dive into? To find the area between two curves given their equations and the interval, you can follow these steps. 1. Identify the curves. Let's say you have two functions, sas f x, sas, and sao g x, vowels, defined on an interval, sounds a by I. 2. Determine the points of intersection. Set the two equations equal to find where they intersect. Fx in gx here, solve for x here, to find the points of intersection. If the provided interval does not contain these points, you may need to adjust your interval. 3. Find the area formula. The area plus a tlal between the two curves from tlal x a sal to sao x il b sal is given by Sao A equal int R fx gx tau dx. This absolute value ensures you calculate the positive area regardless of the order of king, f, x, sol, and sol, g, x, sol. Got it. If you're looking to find the area between two curves given their equations and an interval, here's a step. Welcome, I'm ready to take you to different worlds with a story. What tale do you want to hear? Or, hi, I'm your personal storyteller. Just let me know what kind of story you're in the mood for. The Mahabharata is one of the two major Sanskrit epics of ancient Indian literature, the other being the Ramayana. It is an enormous text, often considered the longest epic poem in the world, and it chronicles the tale of the Kurukshetra war and the fates of the Kaurava and Pandava princes. The narrative of the Mahabharata weaves through complex themes such as duty, dharma, righteousness, justice, and the human experience in the face of destiny. It includes numerous characters, subplots, and philosophical discourses, including the famous Bhagavad Gita, which is a conversation between Prince Arjuna and Lord Krishna. The story revolves around two groups of cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The Pandavas, led by Yudhishthira, have a claim to the throne of Hastinapura, while the Kauravas, led by Duryodhana, are determined to keep power for themselves. The conflict escalates through deceit, betrayal, and unresolved tensions, ultimately culminating in a cataclysmic battle at Kurukshetra. The epic explores themes of loyalty, honor, justice, and the complexities of moral choices. Would you like to hear a specific part of the Mahabharata, or a particular character's story, or something else related to it? Sure. Let's dive into the story of the Mahabharata. I'll narrate it in sections, starting from the beginning. Hanchata. Part 1. The Origins. Once upon a time, in the ancient kingdom of Hastinapura, there lived a king named Shantanu. He was a just and wise ruler, but was heartbroken because he had no children. One day while hunting in the forest, he encountered a beautiful woman named Ganga. Shantanu fell in love with her, and to win her heart, he promised to never question her decisions. They got married and had a beautiful life together. Ganga bore him a son, but after his birth she took the child and threw him into the river. Shantanu was shocked but kept his promise. Over time, Ganga had 7 more sons, and each time she sacrificed them to the river. Finally, when the 8th child was born, Shantanu could no longer remain silent. Ganga, saddened by having to leave him, revealed that their children were celestial beings and that she had to return to the heavens. With heavy hearts, Ganga departed, leaving Shantanu alone. However, he later found solace in a new love, Satyavati, a fisherwoman. The two married, but Satyavati had one condition. Her first son must inherit the throne. When Shantanu's son, Chitrangada, was born, he became king, but he died in battle. Shantanu's second son, Vichitravirya, inherited the throne but was soon gravely ill. To ensure he had an heir, Satyavati called upon her other son, Vyasa, a sage born before her marriage. Vyasa was asked to help Vichitravirya have children. He fathered 2 sons through the queens, Ambika and Ambalika, Dhritarashtra, blind from birth, and Pandu. End of part 1. Would you like to continue with the story, or do you have any questions about this part? Hang on. Part 2. The birth of the Pandavas and Kauravas. Vyasa, the learned sage, agreed to Satyavati's request. He first approached Vichitravirya's 2 queens, Ambika and Ambalika. However, the queens were terrified of Vyasa's appearance and, unknowingly, the way they responded had consequences. When he visited Ambika, she closed her eyes in fear, and thus their child, born of his essence, was blind, and he was named Dhritarashtra. Ambalika, although afraid, allowed him to interact with her but turned pale during the encounter. Their child, born of her essence, was named Pandu, and he was pale-skinned. To ensure Dhritarashtra's blindness did not prevent him from being king, they appointed him as such. But as fate would have it, Dhritarashtra faced numerous challenges. Pandu, meanwhile, grew up facing no challenges. However, he was cursed that he would die if he ever attempted to engage with his wives, Kunti and Madri, while they were in the act of love. Distraught but determined to have heirs, Pandu sought the wisdom of Kunti's boon, which allowed her to invoke any deity to bear children. Kunti first invoked the god of righteousness, Dharma, resulting in the birth of their eldest son, Yudhishthira. She then called upon Vayu, the wind god, giving them Bhima, and finally invoked Indra, the king of gods, resulting in the birth of Arjuna. Meanwhile, Pandu's wife Madri invoked the Ashwini twins, giving birth to Nakula and Sahadeva. The 5 sons of Pandu were known collectively as the Pandavas, while Dhritarashtra's sons were known as the Kauravas. Among them, Duryodhana was the most prominent. As the boys grew, the Pandavas and Kauravas spent much of their childhood together, but tensions began to arise. Duryodhana felt deep jealousy towards the Pandavas, especially Arjuna. Eventually, the rivalry between the Kauravas and Pandavas intensified, and the seeds of conflict were firmly planted. Would you like to ask any questions, or shall I continue to the next part? Part 3. The Seeds of Conflict. As the Pandavas and Kauravas grew older, their rivalry intensified. Duryodhana and his brothers, particularly his closest companion Karna, devised various schemes to diminish the Pandavas. The turning point came during a fateful game of dice, which would further sow seeds of discord among the families. One day, Duryodhana invited Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava, to a game of dice. The invitation was deceitful. The game had been planned with the manipulative Shakuni, Duryodhana's uncle. Yudhishthira, bound by the rules of dharma, duty, reluctantly accepted. What unfolded was a string of nearly fatal wagers. Yudhishthira staked his kingdom, his brothers, and finally, even himself. In the end, he lost everything. As a result of Yudhishthira's losses, the Pandavas were forced into exile for 13 years, the last year of which had to be spent in disguise. During their time in the forest, they faced numerous challenges, and their bond as brothers grew stronger. They learned from sages and acquired formidable skills, especially Arjuna, who received divine weapons from the gods. Meanwhile, back in Hastinapura, Dhritarashtra's kingdom suffered due to Duryodhana's tyranny and the absence of the capable Pandavas. After the exile period, the Pandavas returned, humbled but powerful, and sought their rightful share of the kingdom. They approached Dhritarashtra, requesting a peaceful resolution to ease the tensions and share the kingdom. But Duryodhana, consumed by jealousy and anger, refused to part with even a needle's worth of land. Tensions escalated and diplomatic attempts failed. When negotiations broke down and war seemed inevitable, Lord Krishna, who had agreed to be Arjuna's charioteer, attempted to mediate. But Duryodhana's arrogance led to the setup for an all-out war at Kurukshetra. Would you like me to continue with the details of the Great War, or do you have any questions so far? Part 4. The War of Kurukshetra. As all avenues for peace were exhausted, the stage was set for a monumental conflict. The two factions gathered their armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where the fate of the kingdom would be decided. On the eve of battle, both sides prepared, their banners flying high, embodying hopes and fears. Arjuna, one of the key Pandava brothers, stood at the center of the battlefield, preparing for the fight. As he looked at the vast army before him, he was horrified to see not just enemies but friends, family, and respected teachers lined up against them. Overwhelmed by sorrow and doubt, he lowered his bow and refused to fight. In this moment of despair, Lord Krishna, who served as his charioteer, imparted a timeless wisdom through the profound teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explained the nature of life, duty, and righteousness, dharma, encouraging Arjuna to embrace his role in the battle not just as a warrior, but as a guardian of justice and truth. Empowered by this counsel, Arjuna regained his focus and resolved to fulfill his duty. The war began with fierce ferocity. The battlefield witnessed unparalleled bravery as legendary warriors from both sides displayed extraordinary feats of valor. Bhishma, the granduncle to both the Kauravas and Pandavas, fought valiantly for the Kauravas, proving nearly invincible due to a boon he had received that granted him control over his own death. Yet during the fierce confrontations, it became evident that the tide of war would require cunning and strategy, not just brute strength. The turning point came when a clever strategy was devised to immobilize Bhishma. Arjuna's son Sikandi, who was reborn as a woman in his previous life,